Tonight, on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide, the return singer-songwriter Selina Albright. The LA native truly needs no introduction, but her angelic vocal tones command otherwise. Known for her multi-octave colorature soprano vocal range, the powerhouse songstress projects striking similarities to the legendary Minnie Riperton on many levels. Albright's music spans across multiple genres, making her a highly sought-after collaborator among iconic performers such as Peter White, Joe Sample, Dave Koz, Mesa, and the list goes on. Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide is honored to support Selina Albright as she makes her fourth appearance on our platform. Join us as we sit, chat, reminisce, and share her latest release, Jenny, Perfect Little Rose.
Well, hello, everybody. I've been waiting, anticipating this particular segment because my sister's here. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, I treat everybody the same. Yes, I do. I love them all the more. Smooches and kisses. But today, it's Selina Albright Day. And I want you guys to get your cell. I want you to tag, share, invite, let everybody know Selina Albright's on the platform. You have no reason to be anywhere else except right here, because we're going to chew the fat. We're going to do it all. I promise you. And we're going to bring you up to speed on what she's been doing since the last time she was here. I mean, it was we were just talking back of house, talking about how emotional the last time she was here. I was just reminiscing and I just can't let that go. But I want to bring her on tonight and I want to share the guest with you guys. Miss Selina Albright.
I love your intros. Oh my gosh. Thank you, sis.
So
it's good to be back.
You're so cute.
Number 4. Thank you.
That's amazing. Number 4. You guys,
thank you for the support.
Listen, she is like the only one today, and I don't know how that happened. Oh boy, this is a rarity. And I was just so happy to really speak with you, and I felt like we were sisters then, friends, neighbors next door. You know, somebody you meet from next door. You know?
Yeah, I felt the same way about you. You got like a cousin, sister vibe. And a friend vibe, which is really cool, like since the very beginning. So that's why I came back 4 times. I don't come back for everybody.
She just for me. I'm her favorite.
I
love it. Oh my God,
yes.
I love it. And we're so honored really to have you on tonight. And
thank you.
It's gonna be fun. I really know it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So what have you been doing? Since when was that? October 5th, I think. That's when you came last. What have you been doing?
October. Oh, God. That's almost a whole year. So
I know, right? I know.
Okay, so I've been doing a lot of collaborative projects that you'll hear. I was on Lynn Roundtree's album, or I am on it, his Fluid album. I'm also on Willie Bradley's current record, and he about to drop as a single. We're about to do the video this month, the music video this month. He about to drop this single that I wrote with him. It's called Falling For You. He sent me a track and the thing was so bang and I wrote the song in about 20 minutes.
What? No.
Wait till you hear the track. Okay, and then I've been working on kind of a foreign exchange project as well. That's funk with some people in Holland, Italy. It's been so much fun. This past year has been super fun. And I've been able to record at home. So I have, more that I can do because I have all the control and all the Like I can guide the direction and then just send it to them and be like, is there anything you need to change? And they'll tell me, no. No, we're okay. We respect what you did, and we're going to go ahead and build around it. It's so much fun to work with people who appreciate what you do, add what they do, and they're confident that everything is going to be collaboratively cool. So I've been doing a lot of collaboration, and I also released, I've also been a mother for this year.
I love it.
And my kid is potty training. He's 2 months in. He's doing really great. I could literally say 1, 2, 3, pee, and he is. These pandemic babies are different. So I'm sure you've heard.
I trust you.
Let me tell you.
For those who may not know Selina Albright, shame on you, but it's a great thing you're here. I'm so glad you're here because they're going to learn a lot about you.
It's been a really cool pandemic for me as far as growth.
Yeah.
Personal growth.
Hear it. I can definitely hear it. And we tend to categorize artists into genre. You know, they're mostly genre specific artists. And so my question to you is, what do you say you are? What kind of how do you classify?
Girl. Sis, you already know from hearing my music that I'm all over the place.
But I want them to know. Yep, I get it.
Okay, so I'm going to say technically, I'm a jazz and R&B soul artist because at any given moment, I sound like a mixture of those. But lately, like Holding On was a pop song / global because I asked, for different instruments to be used that you would hear around the world rather than just the typical 4 instruments that I use,
right.
Bass, keys, drums, and guitar, because I love all 4 of those. But to add in, some extra elements and stuff was really cool. So yeah, R&B soul is where I typically push my music, but now R&B soul has changed. So I guess I'm a little more jazzy now, but I'm not. That's why I say I'm a multi-genre artist. And that way, because I'm independent, I could just kind of do what I want and you can decide whether to take it or leave it.
I love that.
But Apple Music and Amazon Music makes you choose a genre. So I choose R&B soul.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
I get it. Do you think you'll ever do any straight ahead jazz, Selina?
Absolutely. I think the closest.
Yeah, like a CD.
I would definitely be open to it because I'm so greatly influenced by traditional jazz. But I like singing. I think singing traditional jazz in the studio for me kind of ruins the fun of it. Just for me personally.
Got it.
I like to be live singing the music, for instance. Dude, last weekend in Omaha, Nebraska, 2 weekends ago, we're in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm performing with Jeff Kashiwa. And our band, we're not sure if they're going to even show up because flights are late. So we had to come up with a song or two and we had a list of many that we would do in case they didn't show up and we had to use the previous band. It was that close to the wire.
Wow.
They ended up showing up, but we said, well, we like playing Summertime together. That daggone song was so magical. And I think because we didn't know what was going to happen, there was this really awesome improvisational, unexpected, cool moment where we were able to play off each other and play off the band members. And then I was able to sing something and go off in the wilderness somewhere. And then the pianist would follow me up the keyboard. And I was like, oh! So just doing fun stuff like that.
Don't you love it? Oh my God.
But then when you're in the studio, unless you guys are all recording from a stage where you're all together performing at the same time, it's just it takes something away from it. So I would have to work with a certain specific group of musicians or a certain specific producer to do that, and it would have to be timed correctly and all of that good stuff. But the stars have not aligned for that one yet. But if we get some divine intervention, I would be open.
I can see it. I can hear it. And for those who don't know you, just quickly, because we're going to go to a break in just a moment.
Okay.
What made Selina Albright want to pursue entertainment?
Oh, okay. I've been doing this all my life.
Of course.
I've been singing since I was 2. But the moment for me was when I visited Texas And I was just visiting some friends, and we went to this mall that had a fudge shop. And I have yet to find this fudge shop again. But you go in there, and the people who pack up your fudge and whatever else you want, they will sing you Motown songs or whatever. They're going to sing and perform for you while you're doing it.
Right.
Why did I see this shop? And I was just like, I want some fudge now because they're singing. I don't know what they're going to sing next. My friends were like, she sings too. I was like, no. And so I ended up singing White Girl with them. And I hit some kind of note, and people started coming down the escalator and coming to, we did an extended version of My Girl. People started coming, and I had a whole audience. I'm like, let me stop playing around. And at the time, I was featuring on other people's CDs, specifically my dad's and a couple other artists who were like, I'd like her to do backgrounds on mine too. I had performed by then with Shaka Khan, Hugh Masekela, Will Downing, all kinds of people, Jonathan Butler, my dad himself. And it took that moment for me to realize that was what I wanted to do.
Really?
I was in school I was in a master's program for school counseling. When that moment was happening, I was in school, but I would take my homework to the club so I could sing. So it all came together in that moment, and I felt very silly not having done it sooner, but that was when it needed to happen because I was ready. Yes.
So if you had not made that decision to just go all in for music, what do you think you'd be doing today, Selina?
School counseling. And
really?
I would have been enjoying it too, but probably wondering what if. And I would be teaching as well. Before I closed down the business and music picked up enough for me to do it full time.
Yeah.
I had a mobile tutoring business, and I would teach K-12 curriculum. Okay. And college curriculum, depending on whether it was math or English or whatever. And I helped hundreds of students to graduate when it didn't seem like they were going to be able to pass whatever last class was left. And I helped kids learn to read and count and add and all that stuff, all the stuff that parents have trouble doing because it all looks different by the time they have kids.
You got it.
And so I would have been still doing that and, eventually going into art therapy and things like that. So I still do it as a hobby.
And I never even thought to ask you that until now. I guess, nothing before it's time. Jump in with you. What I want to ask this may sound kind of quirky and weird, but what are you doing differently since the quarantine to kind of help you as like an artist, as a writer, the totality of you? Are you finding yourself, even as a female in music, do you find that you're doing some things differently since being in that quarantine mode?
It's definitely different. I don't think it's a bad change, actually. I might continue to do what I'm doing now. I've been able to listen to music differently and listening to things on a production level that I didn't really pay attention to before because I was so focused on the vocals and the vocal arrangements that I didn't think musically as much before the pandemic. But now I have nothing else to do. And, my son has been going to sleep to Nina Simone and
I love that.
Yeah, Billie Holiday and, oh my gosh. Oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. This is terrible because my ears have a Leslie Odom Jr.
Leslie, got it.
Ooh, so I've been listening to why is it that's so soothing and why does it hit me at such a deep place? So I've been really just studying music and also talking to other artists and collaborating with them differently than I normally do. We can all be independent and contribute. And I think working at a distance has put a lot more responsibility on me, which I've embraced. Yeah. So social media, making sure that I'm doing lives and all that stuff and, on a regular basis to keep people engaged because everybody's online now. It's not just a few of us. Everybody's trying to get everybody's attention. So I've had to do some things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
As far as the work aspect of it, I've always worked smart and not hard after a certain point of my life.
Right.
So I've just basically been trying to figure out the smartest way to work now with my husband, with a baby, you know, with the new house and the gardens. If I don't go out there and take care of them,
Wow.
the plants die. So, you know, and just a lot of things to juggle. And then, you know, our community, you know, musically, and then, you know, our families too, just like trying to make sure I'm not going nuts, making sure I get enough sleep so that I can sing. Because if you don't get enough sleep, your voice is shot.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, you know, figuring out how to be so prepared to sing that I could be ready to record as soon as the baby goes to sleep. So for me, like just being sharper and more consistent has been my goal, and just something that I've really been working on more now than before.
Really?
Because everything has to be like at a moment's notice. Like
You got to be
things will
ready.
change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to keep your gift sharpened. It's just like a knife when a chef is in the kitchen, right? You
Yeah.
can't pull up a dull knife and expect to cut things precisely. Yeah,
Right.
everything's got to be precisioned. And so I get that.
Yes.
I get
I'm
it.
very intentional about pretty much everything. Everything's got, you know, some sort of process to it now, because it has to, because so many elements are happening right out of our home.
I know.
So we had to keep, I did a whole organizational overhaul. So I think on top of that, I trust myself a lot more. That's the huge difference
Really?
since the pandemic. Yes.
Talk
Because
about
I've been able to depend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been able to depend on myself way more to get things done and to time myself, and it's working.
I am, of course, Sabrina Taylor, creator and host of Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. So happy to have you guys here tonight. And just in case you didn't know who was on tonight, well, let me show you.
Okay, I didn't have the Riesling, but I'm still ready to talk.
It's Selina Albright.
It's all natural.
Okay. It's Selina.
Oh my God.
So happy to have you on to really, you know what? We have followed you, and I wanted to share this with everybody else since like 2018, guys. Conversations was out at that point, and there was a song she had out that I just didn't quite understand. I bet you know the song, Selina. There was one song.
Eat something?
Uh-huh. And I said,
You didn't understand it?
No, when I first heard it, I said,
Okay.
Wait a minute. Let me listen. Let me see what Selina's talking about. And then I was like, okay, hey. That song stuck with me. You know?
Good.
Yeah, exactly. Once I understood it. But
yeah,
looking at the back of credits, and it just says eat something, I thought, okay. I don't know what that means, but we're gonna listen. And I'm so glad.
Oh,
that is what you could tell after that. Yeah, exactly.
I love a good double meaning. And I did not mean to create as many within the song as I did.
Okay.
I only meant like one of those double meanings. But I realized the entire song is a double meaning. I'm like, and it almost didn't make it on the record for that reason. I thought, ain't nobody gonna understand this. Ain't anybody gonna like this. Is too much. I'm talking about getting 2 sizes heavier and eating because I'm in love.
Yeah.
And somebody said, no, this is your first single. What are you talking about? This needs to be on. I'm like, okay, I'll put it on there.
Right.
I was going to hold it for later, but that's a special song to me. It really is.
Really? Wow. Well,
yeah.
let's talk about it, because I want to elaborate a little bit on Conversations, because I have a clip. Because at the point I think that I brought you on, Highest High was really about to do its thing. Love that song. One of my favorites.
Thank you.
And the video is just so it's so Selina Albright. I mean, she's the swan, you know. You'll see the clip and everything.
Okay.
Go ahead, talk it up. Share with us.
I see what you mean.
Uh-huh.
Conversations as a record was 10 years of lessons that I had learned from conversations that I'd had with people in my life. So it took from 2006-ish up to 2016 to create all these songs. And the very last one that we created was Talk to Her. And that was when I was just kind of coming into my sounds. And I had just, I had a little bro figure who was having trouble with relationships because he was like falling hard for everybody.
Oh,
and so like these cute little situations that that I was having, listening to people and their issues and giving them advice, like just talk to her, man, get to know her. You don't have to know if she'll walk down the aisle, just entertain her for a second, see if she's nice first, and then going through victim where people victimize themselves in order to manipulate you. And then,
right.
Eat something where I just gotten with the love of my life, and I started eating more than usual because I wasn't as stressed, because I was like, I found my one. Okay, cool. We can eat, and I'm gonna show you everything I can cook. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna keep you, and we're gonna have some fun. And then it's not just the food.
I know. Right.
But just like every song has some sort of snapshot of my life at the time that I was writing it.
Right. So shifting to discovering.
Thank you. You love all the songs, Sabrina.
I like all the bright songs. So that brought you back here, right? Okay. So that's truly one I think to be treasured, I can say, for you, right? Because of the pregnancy, and then that cover. Okay.
That was Den Tran.
Selina. Wow. It was
I ain't had no pants on. I just had the little underwear, my stomach covered my crotch. He was so big.
He was a big,
and the thing was flowing, the dress was flowing. I felt so beautiful during that photo shoot.
Listen, holding on. I want to talk about that just quickly, because all of your singles, all your compositions, they tell a story. That's what I love. That was a release that was from a special place as well. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, kind of.
Yeah, special as in I knew I was at home with the baby and I couldn't protest and I couldn't walk with everybody. So I had to do something.
Right.
I had to offer something. So I was like, all right, it's going to be this song. And originally the song was about mental health. I didn't know I was going to come out with Jenny later. And I didn't know it was going to be next because I hadn't even recorded it by then.
Yeah.
Yet. And it started out as that. And then I couldn't finish the song. And it was just always a little bit wonky. So lyrically speaking. And so I held on to it since 2017.
Oh.
So while I was mixing and releasing Conversations, I also did this impromptu studio session with David P. Stevens, and he and I wrote the original concept for the song together. And then years later, it would become, oh, that's what this song was supposed to be about originally, but I just needed the template for it.
Ah.
And then we had Chris Big Dog Davis come in and Keita Matsuno, and then it just became this whole big, huge thing. And then you got James J. Rob Roberson on drums.
Oh.
And so the sound is so huge on it because I have, instead of it just being me and a producer, it's me and 4 producers and collaborators and just musical masterminds. And so, yeah.
And so Jenny. Same thing. You were the mastermind behind Jenny.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow. Talk about, because you've worked with a lot of notables, but I love the fact, this is what I love about you. You collab with a lot of backline artists. And
yeah. They seem to have a lot to say that we wouldn't expect. And so I love hearing that. Wow. And we hear the mainstream guys and ladies all the time. Yes. And for me, it's just so special to hear something I haven't heard before, for one,
Right.
and something I just wasn't expecting to come from that musician.
Mm.
So where I'm like, wait, you're an artist. When is your record coming out?
Mm.
You know, so I ended up working with Kevin Jackson, who's a great guitarist,
Yes,
on this. Yeah, and then he asked me to be on his record this last time. That was one of the things that's about to come out.
Love it.
And it's just cool to, I just like the experience too, because it's not about egos. It's just about, let's have some fun in the studio together. Let's
Right.
do, let's do this. So I worked on Jenny with David P. Stevens again. And he sent me this track. And I was like, I know it's supposed to be a sexual song that comes from this track, but this is where I'm at right now. And this is what I'm writing.
Right.
So then he changed the track thereafter and said, oh no, I want to speed it up a little bit. We need you to do the vocal again. I'm going to speed it up. And it's going to have like a Motown soulful feel. And then we're going to do these same things. Like, can you put some, I'm like, I'm already on it. I got the ooze. I already hear where you're going. So when me and David work together, it just locks. And I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about. So I sent the second round of vocals to him. And those were first draft, like top to bottom.
Yeah.
Tell me, Jenny, what is all this for? Like, I did the whole thing from beginning to end, ad libs, one take, because I was just in that space.
In the mode.
The backgrounds I took a little time on. But, because I was having so much fun coming up with the harmonies. But this song is my mental health song. It did what I thought Holding On was going to do. And it became about, so Jenny is, we all have a Jenny within us, and we all probably have a Jenny in our lives outside of us.
Right.
We all have that voice that's, telling us to either respond to trauma in a negative way or respond to what we've been modeled in some negative way that either hurts others or hurts ourselves. And my Jenny was my response to the trauma that I had seen early on that I thought was normal. And no matter how great your childhood experience is, life is just, people have their stuff. People have their own trauma that they will inflict on you through certain messages they send you. And it's even on a grand world societal scale too, that people tell you, oh no, it's normal not to be able to sleep at night because you're worried about being perfect. It's normal. That's what everybody does. And it's not. It's not healthy. And so I had to go to therapy, especially when the pandemic started and I couldn't get away from anything anymore. Right. And I had to take a hard look at my life and how I was living it and say, okay, here's where I want to make some adjustments.
Right.
And that's where Jenny came from. It was the whole struggle with myself of just releasing Jenny. So my negative messages to myself that I wasn't good enough, I'm an imposter, all that stuff.
Oh my God, I love this.
Yeah, and we all, I guess,
all have this.
I wouldn't say all, but a lot of us have this. No matter, you never think certain people have it, but then you see them on drugs and alcohol all the time, and then they mix them, and then they die early, and it's just like, I don't want that future. I want to have a wholesome life with my kid, my husband, and my garden, and then have work scheduled around that, and not stress not stress myself. But what is going on? I'm stuck. My hair got stuck in my shirt and got stuck in my bra. I'm sorry. And I had to drop some things. So I had to say so long to Jenny, like I did in the end of the song. Yeah. And I also had to get rid of the people who were Jennies in my life who sucked my spirit away. Wow. And then I had to, it was a lot of, it was sessions. I had sessions and then stages and layers. And then I had to relearn life again, being functional rather than dysfunctional. And I'm still learning. This is always going to be a long process because there was such deep-rooted stuff, deep-rooted negative messages that I had picked up from somewhere and was giving them to myself.
Wow. So why now? Why now? I mean, this has been with you all of your life, or at least at some point in your life. But why now, Selina? I mean, because I'm seeing, and I'm asking that question because a lot of artists during the pandemic had to face themselves because they had nowhere to go, couldn't run from you if you wanted to. You can run to the stage, like you said, drugs, alcohol, sex, whatever. But the pandemic made it so you had to look at yourself.
Yeah, music was my only, being on the stage and touring was my only outlet.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Besides the gym,
Well, yeah.
and that closed too.
Yeah.
And then the food places weren't an option either.
Mm-mm.
And so after ordering food in and spending a whole bunch on Instacart and then managing, finances and still trying to release music and all this stuff, and then you start feeling like, okay, am I doing the right thing? Like, should I stop for a sec?
Right.
Am I affecting my family negatively? Like, can I still be a good mom while also doing all these things? And how can we do this in a way that I'm still happy and I don't regret it? And so, because I value myself so much, and I always have valued what I bring, despite my Jenny, I decided to keep plowing forward. But it was really hard for a second because, you have pregnancy hormones and then the lack thereof really abruptly. You have breastfeeding. You're constantly tired because we can all eat. He got it honestly. My kid got it very honestly. So I just always felt drained. And then I was trying to work through emotional stuff at the same time, and it affected everything. And I was like, it has to be now or else I'm going to screw up my kid. That's like in my mind, I'm like, I just don't want to screw up my kid to the point where he has to recover from trauma he had in his childhood because I didn't do what I was supposed to do as an adult early enough.
Right.
But Jenny, she took a lot out of me in general.
I was like,
good Lord.
Exactly.
That was some stuff that I had to work through and just reveal.
Wow. I'm glad that you channeled it through your music, and you did such a splendid job, video and all. Wow. If people don't know, now they know. But how can they connect with you on social media?
The best way to reach me is at Selina Albright on all social media. So that's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I have a Snapchat too, but I don't really keep up with it because it's not the new thing. TikTok is the new thing. So I'm building my TikTok now.
Yeah.
And I'm at Selina Albright there too. Yeah. Also at selinaalbright.com. Now make sure you know how to spell it. It's Selina. So just when you want to put the E there, just remember me crossing my I. You will put the I there. Oh, please. Or else you're going to get Selena Gomez and Selena Johnson and all the other Selenas.
Oh, that's a lot.
And you won't hear me. No. So yeah, selinaalbright.com has all the links to all my social media on it.
Gotcha. Well.
Oh, and you put it at the bottom of the screen. It's already moving. You better be prepared.
I gotta keep up with you.
I love it. Did you just type that in right now, or did it already?
It was already prepped. I already had it ready to go, honey. I did my homework on you.
I'm gonna say it again. Every time I come to the show, this is number 4. It's always a new level of preparation. My comfort in talking to you your questions get even better and better. So I know you're doing more homework and more research before you go into it. And your graphics are killer and you're doing them yourself. So I'm just like, you better stream, Yard. You better stream. I'm just like, and Mo is good. I'm so proud that, someone I consider a sister is really doing well and always sharpening. So it's really great.
Look, you've got to go and visit selinaalbright.com and check out her merch, get her music. Please support her. She is so amazingly talented. And I just can't wait to see what she's going to do next. Right, you guys? Mm-hmm. Well,
I can't either.
I know, right? I know. I don't want to let her go, but, I only talk to her once a year.
I know. Well, wait a minute. We could change that. It doesn't have to be on Unsigned Artist Reveal.
I like that.
Yeah, we could talk. Yeah, we're good. You can
like it. Look,
shoot an email.
Did you hear me? Did you see me doing this? I like that.
Yeah. I know it's weird. Probably. But
yeah. Because I need to stay.
I want to hear about all the stuff you're doing.
I want to stay in the loop. Exactly. I want you to stay in the loop, and I want to stay in the loop with you. Right.
Sweet. So I can support you.
Thank you.
Bye, you guys. Thank y'all for listening and everything. I appreciate y'all listening.
And
this is so cool. And thank you for all the comments. And that's all I'm going to say. Go ahead, do your sign off. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. They're saying good night, ladies, and loved everything. Great interview, Sabrina. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Listen, what you make happen for others, God will also make happen for you. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you again here next week. Okay? Take care. Bye.